They poured a solid slab of concrete right in front of my ranch gate, thinking I'd back down without a fight. They figured I'd just swallow their nonsense and call it a day. They couldn't have been more wrong. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and I own a quiet ranch on the edge of Willow Creek, Colorado, or at least, it was quiet until the local homeowners association, the Willow Creek Prestige Board, decided to pick a fight they'd never win. What started with a block of concrete spiraled into a battle that flipped their world upside down, and I'm here to tell you how I bought their precious land and doubled their fees, turning their power trip into a lesson they'll never forget. Picture this, a sprawling 5-acre ranch, rolling hills dotted with wildflowers, a sturdy barn, a shimmering pond, and sunsets that could stop you in your tracks. That's the dream my wife, Clara, and I built after years of saving. I'm a retired civil engineer with a knack for sniffing out fine print in contracts and a stubborn streak that Clara swears is half mule, half bloodhound. We bought this land to escape the noise, to breathe crisp mountain air, and live free from meddling neighbors. But the Willow Creek Prestige Board had other plans, and their overreach ignited a fire I didn't know I had. It all began 3 years ago when we settled into our slice of paradise. Our ranch wasn't even under the HOA's jurisdiction. Our parcel was carved out long before their cookie-cutter mansions sprouted up. But the access road to our gate ran alongside their neighborhood, and that tiny strip of asphalt gave them the audacity to claim control over my property's entrance. Clara and I laughed it off at first. They can't dictate what we do with our gate, we told ourselves. Wishful thinking. One frosty morning, I stepped outside to check on a new gate I'd commissioned, simple, elegant, with wooden beams and stone pillars, nothing flashy. I was buzzing with excitement, picturing it finished. Instead, I found a hulking slab of concrete blocking my driveway, a violation notice from the HOA taped to a pillar. The words, "unauthorized construction," screamed from the page, accusing me of ruining their community aesthetic and threatening legal action if I didn't stop. My blood boiled. Clara rushed out, coffee mug in hand, her eyes wide as she read the notice. "We're not even in their neighborhood," she snapped. "Who do they think they are?" Minutes later, a sleek silver SUV pulled up, and out stepped a woman in her 50s, dripping with self-assured arrogance. "Good morning," she said, barely glancing at me. "I'm Victoria Langston, president of the Willow Creek Prestige Board." Her tone was the kind you hear from people who think they're untouchable. I kept my cool, though my fists clenched. "There's a mistake here," I said. "We're not part of Willow Creek." Victoria's lips curled into a patronizing smile. "Your property may be outside our bounds, but the road leading to it is under our oversight. Anything visible from it falls under our guidelines." She eyed my half-built gate with disdain. "We prefer Tuscan-inspired designs. This rustic thing doesn't fit." Clara tried to reason with her, but Victoria shut her down, handing me a stack of forms and strutting back to her SUV. As she sped off, I stared at that concrete slab defacing my land, a question burning in my mind. Why were they so hell-bent on controlling something they had no right to? I made a vow then and there I wouldn't let them bully us. Clara and I dove into action, poring over property records, deeds, and old subdivision maps. I called my old friend Nathan, a real estate lawyer who'd seen his share of HOA horror shows. Over coffee and a table buried in documents, he confirmed our ranch was outside their charter, but a murky county agreement might give them partial sway over the road. The deeper we dug, the clearer it became. The HOA was bluffing. Clara, with her eagle eye, spotted a gem in a 15-year-old bankruptcy file. The development company behind Willow Creek had gone bust in 2008, leaving assets like our access road in limbo, owned by a dormant outfit called Pineview Holdings, LLC. The HOA had no legal claim. They were banking on my ignorance. That discovery was like striking oil. Nathan grinned. "If Pineview still holds the deed, you could buy it out from under them." My pulse raced. On the road? Turn their power play into my checkmate? Clara urged caution, but I could taste victory. While the HOA kept up their harassment, lapping us with notices about our mailbox, our porch light, even the color of our siding, I stayed quiet, plotting. Nathan reached out to Pineview's parent firm, who saw the road as a forgotten liability. They were ready to sell, cheap. As the deal took shape, the HOA doubled down, dumping an even bigger concrete slab at my gate, forcing us to use a neighbor's dirt path. That neighbor, Tom Grayson, was a godsend. "They fined me for growing daisies once," he chuckled. "Use my drive as long as you need." His support fueled my resolve. Clara, meanwhile, uncovered dirt on the HOA's finances. Their budgets showed massive road maintenance fees, but the road hadn't seen a repair in years. The money? Funneled to Victoria and her vice president, Marcus Reed, who'd just bought a shiny new yacht. The coincidences were too glaring to ignore. We held our cards close, waiting for the perfect moment. When the deed finally landed in my name, I felt a surge of triumph. I owned the road, every inch of it, right up to Willow Creek's fancy sign. The next morning, I called a crew to haul away the concrete. Victoria showed up, fuming. "What do you think you're doing?" she barked. I handed her the deed, stamped and sealed. Her face cycled through shock, disbelief, and rage. "This is outrageous," she sputtered, tossing the papers. "We have lawyers, Mr. Caldwell." I didn't flinch. "This is my land now, ma'am. That slab's illegal." As the crew forklifted away, she stormed off, no doubt rallying her cronies. That day, I posted a sign, "Private road, owned by Caldwell Holdings. Access subject to approval." It wasn't about blocking residents, it was about stripping the HOA's fake authority. Word spread like wildfire. Neighbors, fed up with Victoria's reign of petty fines for things like wrong fence paint or unapproved garden gnomes, started whispering. Some even thanked me, sharing stories of her tyranny. I fired off a letter to the HOA, declaring their road fees null and void. If they wanted to keep using my road, they'd sign a usage agreement at double their usual resident dues. Poetic, right? Nathan made sure the letter was ironclad. Then, silence. For 2 days, no notices, no visits. On the third, Victoria, Marcus, and a board member, Sarah Klein, showed up, all fake smiles. "We'd like to negotiate," Victoria said, claiming the concrete was temporary. Lies, but I let her talk. I laid out my terms. Acknowledge my ownership, drop all violations, and pay the doubled fee. Victoria balked. "That's extortion." I shot back. "Like your concrete and legal threats?" Marcus offered a lowball compromise. I shut it down. "You intimidated me. Now you deal with the consequences." Their faces fell. They knew their budget was toast. Clara's research had already exposed their scam. Years of overcharging residents for fake upkeep siphoned to their personal projects. The doubled fee wasn't just revenge, it was justice. The HOA tried to rally against me, painting me as the villain, but the truth was spreading. Residents saw Clara's evidence of misspent dues, and a whistleblower leaked emails proving Victoria and Marcus inflated contracts for kickbacks. The community erupted. At a heated meeting, neighbors demanded answers. "Where's our money?" they shouted. Sarah presented the leaked emails. Another resident waved canceled checks for non-existent repairs. Victoria snapped, calling us liars and outsiders, but the crowd turned on her. Marcus tried to slip out, only to be cornered about his yacht. He mumbled about misallocated funds, and the room exploded. By the end, Victoria and Marcus were ousted. A temporary council took over, and the sheriff launched an embezzlement probe. My road fees? Suddenly a footnote. The new council signed my agreement, ensuring access for residents while I